Hello, this is Aaron Eggman. This is session 2 of Becoming a Loving Person, and today I wanted to talk about the Competence and Character Growth Plan, which you see in front of you. This is from Dr. Townsend. I have access to this due to being in a graduate program in the Townsend Institute at the University of Concordia, Irvine. I love what I'm learning, and I wanted to share it some with you. So, becoming a loving person, love looks like something, and a loving person becomes and does what's best for the ones that they love. And so this is a perfect place to be able to help recognize where the issues lie and what's helpful and what's not helpful. So we become aware of us, not being able to love through our fruit. And there's areas in our life where it's like we're having difficulties, showing acceptance internally, or forgiving ourselves, or forgiving others in the people arena, or in our functioning in day-to-day life. And we experience pain in these areas internally. There's lots of anxiety is one of those things in which it's the fruit, or our pains in our relationships, our marriages, or how we're doing at work, or our functioning, or how we're performing in life. And so that's the fruit. And so there's lots of different techniques and ways of trying to fix fruit problems, and some of those have to do with trying to change behaviors and trying to change thoughts. That is trying to really work with the fruit, and it's like, okay, don't do this, do this. Don't act like that, act like this. There's two different ways of neuroplastic change, and that is one of them, to try to change behaviors and try to change thoughts. I'm going to be teaching in this series a different way of changing the brain, and science shows that it's not a counteractive strategy, but it's like a permanent transformational change where you don't have to constantly try to change your behavior and change your thoughts, and the negative is still there. So that's where we're not just focusing on the fruit and trying to change our fruit only, because if we just did that, then we're going to constantly have to fight a battle. So that's where the character comes in. The root of this tree is the character structures, which I'm going to be talking more about in upcoming videos. So stay tuned for that. And as we grow healthy character, which is formed when we're born and in our family of origin, and as we grow up, we grow in character and competency. But sometimes, of course, there's areas where, since sin entered the world, we don't develop the character that we need in certain areas. And so that's where the family of God can come in and help give us reparative emotional experiences that come in and address the character source, and then we can grow in character. And as we grow in character, our thoughts and our behaviors will change. So I am not saying that changing thoughts and behaviors isn't important. I'm just saying if we only change thoughts and behaviors and focus in on that, then we're only addressing the fruit, not the roots, not the trunk, not the base of the problem. And so when we focus our interventions and growth activities focusing on character, then our fruit will change. And so that does talk about the ideal growing environment. And that leads me to the last point of today, is an ideal growing environment is one of grace, one of truth, and one of time. I'm going to be talking more about these ingredients, but in short, grace is unconditional love and acceptance. I'm 100% for you stance. Unconditional positive regard is a concept that really embodies this. I like to talk about the incarnation'el stance, and that would be like, what would Jesus be like with a person if he was with them? How would he look at them? What would his verbal be? What would he say? What would he do? But then also, what would the nonverbals? What would you see in his eyes? What would you see in his posture? How would he be looking at you? Would he be like his presence, his care, the felt, your felt grace? It's not an idea of grace, but it's felt grace. I was talking to one of my friends this past week, and she talked about that grace isn't Jesus pulling up a chair and trying to fix you. Grace is just Jesus pulling up a chair and being with you. And that so resounded with me, is this undoing of aloneness, this him being fully present and fully with you, and even feeling empathy with you. You know, our God is a God who can feel empathy. He's gone through all that we've gone through and endured, and he is one that can feel with us and comfort us in these really deep ways. So that being grace. Truth being in an atmosphere of what is true and what is not true. The Bible is the guide. It is the source, and often we need, you know, reality and a call for action. And you know, reality and a call for action can be very, very important based on scriptural truths on what is right, what is wrong, and how and what good functioning looks like. Now that we have a guide, we know what we're aiming for. If we didn't have a what is truth and a foundation of what is truth, and we wouldn't know what healthy functioning really is. We wouldn't know like that. And then in an atmosphere of time, you know, we grow and develop in family. We're born into a family, and then we grow up in different developmental stages, and that takes time, and it takes you know, being with your parents and experiencing them over a long period of time. And same thing when it comes to character growth. We don't just snap our fingers or even say a prayer in the Christian world, or, you know, go through one little you know, inner healing seminar, and then all of a sudden we're healed and our character have grown. And we try to, like, I think often we try to cast out bad character, but casting out bad character doesn't actually grow us in character. What we really need to do is get into environments of an ideal growing environment of grace, truth, and time, and into that incarnational love and acceptance, and where what we didn't receive in our family of origin, we can now receive in the family of God. I like it. It's called the Fu family of origin, and then the Fog, the family of God. What we didn't get in our Fu, we can now get in our Fog. And family is God's plan for brain development and growth. And so as we grow in those in character, we'll begin to produce really good fruit in the personal, the people, and the performance arena. Stay tuned, and we'll continue to go more into all of this. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and stay tuned for more. See ya.